to have you join us on another interesting edition of Business and Economy. Today, we are yet on an analysis of the currency cash swap as it affects economic growth. As usual, I am Imeje, your host. It is no longer news that Nigeria is redesigning some note bills on the currency, the Naira. Since the introduction of the policy, it has continued to raise a lot of concerns from different quarters, leading to what can best be described as an opposition on one hand and those fully in support on the other hand. Recently, in the just concluded week, the National Council of States, NCS, backed the currency swap policy introduced by the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, but with a proviso that the old currency notes be allowed to circulate side by side by the new notes. Briefing newsmen after the maiden 2023 meeting of the Council, presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari at the State House in Abuja on Friday, Governor Darius Ishaku of Taraba State said, much as the CBN policy of the Naira redesign stays, the NCS advised the Apex Bank to recirculate old notes if it cannot print enough new notes and make them available to ease tensions in the polity. Also speaking, Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami told newsmen that the Naira redesign policy stands, adding, however, that the Council agreed that there is need for aggressive action on the part of the Central Bank of Nigeria as it relates to the implementation of the policy by way of ensuring adequate provision being made with particular regard to the supply of the Naira in the system. As a result of the Supreme Court ruling on the deadline for non-circulation of the old notes, he said, the federal government will respect the ruling in the first instance. Although other stakeholders also expressed concern on extension of the deadline on suspending the use of old Naira notes of 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1,000 Naira. In view of the above, our focus on today's program is on the topic, the cash swap of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, the missing links. My guest is a public affairs analyst and associate professor, Professor Rilwan Adeyemi, an associate professor of mass communication, who is joining us for the discussion after the business news. We will be right back. Investors on the Nigerian capital market bought and sold in a turnover of 151.5 million stocks at the last session, valued at 1.81 billion naira across 2,974 deals. Triple G was tapped on the advancers with a gain of 9.5%, followed by Jepol Gold and AXA Mansard Insurance, increasing with 3.45% and 2.50%. Conversely, Trans Express led the decliners with a loss of 9.76%, followed by Transcorp and Cordville Business Solution, depreciating with 7.35% and 6%. In volume terms, Universal Insurance dominated the general activity level with 20 million stocks, while Transcorp and Guaranteed Trust Holding Company contributed 18.6 million stocks and 17.02 million stocks in that order. During the session, all-share index and market capitalization of listed equities improved by 0.23% to close on a high of 54,299 units and 29.64 trillion naira. Meanwhile, the Naira sells on the parallel market for 745 Naira to the dollar, 900 Naira to the pound sterling, and 760 Naira to the euro. Ile Emeje, ASO Television News. Welcome back. Our analyst, Professor Rilwan Adeyemi, is right here with us in our studio to take an appraisal of the Naira redesigning or the cash swap policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria and its economic growth. Prof, you are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, fellow Nigerians. Good morning.
All right. For better understanding, can you throw more light on the cash swap policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the CBN?
Well, thank you very much, my sister. This issue is a quite interesting one, but it's so painful. On the surface, it appears the cash resign and cash swap appears to be a good idea on the surface. But when in the implementation and when you go deep down, you will see clearly that it is not in favor of majority of citizens of this country. And my take is this: if a policy is being made by any government, a government that is supposed to be committed to the welfare of the people, if they are undertaking any policy, the benefit, the welfare of the citizens should be at the forefront of the policy. Yes, much as people want to canvass that they are out to target some people, who are bringing down the Naira, the value, and what have you. Yes, it on the surface it appears, but down the line we have seen that this thing was not, well planned. From the first dimension, when this idea came up, the education, the awareness as to the implementation was not deep enough. Yes, they said 100 days, but what are the various steps to make this easy? In the first instance, we observed that as all those were going in, not much currency, new notes were coming out, were being released by the banks. Simultaneously, the government decided to reduce what you can have access to, which is a contrary, is contrary in dimension to the policy itself. If I have my money, I give it to a bank, I should have access to my money. I see that as a breach of contract between the citizens and the banks. Because people have worked for their money, it's their money. So why will entice me to get my money in and you refuse to give my money? Not considering my situation, not considering what my needs. In some societies, in society where they put the welfare of the people in the front, they don't do that. The money belongs to the people. Yeah, the government can administer, but the people have worked for this money. So if you ask, okay, the people they want to go in and be paid the money with the hope of having the new notes, but you refuse them. That is a bit of social contract. That is one. Two, if you look at implementation as well, how far did the government, the CBN, carried along the network providers? You are going for a cashless experiment. How far did they carry along the network providers? Most times when you go to bank, I have a practical example. I got my money trapped through the ATM and through the POS. Up till now, they've not been released. So if such a system is coming up, there should be a synergy between the central bank and the network providers. Maybe they have to increase their bandwidth and do more effort to make sure people have access to their money. Cashless means that it's not only central bank that is working, but also with the network providers. But these days, the industry something is not what it should be. So on that, when you look at it, the government, I will say, is not fair to the people. Because this is their money, this is our money. On the other hand, you notice also that the capacity of the banks, the central banks, since this, did they actually ascertain that these commercial banks have the capacity, to dispense this note? Okay, fine. You give it to them. What did they put any measure in place to ensure that this money gets back to the people as they bring it in? So these are loopholes. And for now, if you look at it, we will say that the idea, of the cash and the design is 70 to 30.
You think so?
Yes, it's 70 to 30, because how you measure is that the people, when you do a survey, plan the people, everybody's in pains. Everybody's in pains now in the country. You have a car, you cannot go. I had an experience just yesterday. I went to a petrol station. I wanted to transfer. They said they are not accepting transfer. POS, they said the network is bad. Cash, I don't have cash. I have to park my car. And I'm sure millions of people will be affected. Not only that, there are some, and we know our society is mostly an agrarian society. There are some states, out of the whole state, they only banks, I mean, they have only two local government with banks. But not precisely, also, I mean, in Kaduna and some other states like that. To what extent, if they actually meant this business and they want the welfare of the people is at heart, they would have put measures in place to take care of all those areas. So what we are seeing, there's confusion in land. And we are saying, okay, when you look at, okay, in your reports, the central bank and the council of state came in.
Yeah.
Yes, it is out of the fact that they realize that the pains on the people that say, okay, the CBN should, I mean, circulate the new notes side by side with the new notes. The old note with the new notes side by side. Because the pain is severe in the society. And we cannot afford to, I mean, we can't afford to have that. Apart from that, when you look at the timing is quite wrong. The timing is wrong. How can you explain it? Because you are targeting some people, I mean, whom you, of course, we believe you know. You target them, but at the expense of the masses, the citizens who voted for you. This is democracy, for God's sake.
That targeting some persons is an allegation, as far as I know.
Yes, according to what they said they believe that some people had some money, I mean, with them, and they want to target them, so they put this in. That was they say.
No. I think I'll cut in here. What the central bank, recall that one of the major reasons for the redesigning of the Naira note is that the central bank came up to say that 80% of the volume of the Naira is in the hands of a few. And that is not good for our economy. And again, if I may come in, are you not also thinking that it is sabotage on the part of the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria, maybe coming from maybe some group of persons trying to sabotage this particular policy?
Me, I don't subscribe to that idea. My reasons. If they said that the hands, look, you see, we are just deceiving ourselves. If we want to, cause for equity go with a clean hand. If you claim that people are having a currency, don't they have their BVN? Don't they have their records? We have the ICPC, we have the FCC. What are they doing? Are they not government agencies? Why don't you approach them? Look, you can come for this. How you get this money? So why punishing the people? I will not subscribe to that. That because some people whom you are afraid, whom I believe you are afraid to accost, I mean to face them and say, ask them questions, even though you have all the power, and now you feel all the people. No, we have to fear God.
No, why I asked the question is, recall that just last week,
okay,
a managing director of a bank, I'm not going to mention her name, a managing director of a commercial bank was apprehended. And she, as we speak, from reports had it that she was taken to prison for defaulting in discharging the new Naira note that was allotted the bank. That's why I ask, are you not also thinking that it is sabotage on the part of the federal government and the Central Bank of Nigeria?
Yes.
If it is true that the Central Bank of Nigeria allotted some new Naira notes to the commercial bank, and the commercial bank on their own refused, so to say, to dispense this money through the ATM and across the counter. Okay,
thank you very much. Yes, it is a sabotage. But who is to be blamed? Who is the banker of all bankers? It's the CBN. The CBN is still at fault. If you want to put a system in place, particularly as sensitive as currency, you should have put in terms of checks and balances. The commercial banks report to CBN every day. They report to them.
Yes, I know.
To what extent do they put mechanisms to monitor the disposal of this money? It's the central bank's problem. The citizens cannot suffer for what their lapses. The central bank is at fault because he's the big banker. He's the mother of all banks in Nigeria. So it's as if you are trying to punish the citizen for your failure. This is what we are saying. We are citizens. I'm a citizen of this country. I'm affected, and now millions of people are affected. Why should we pay for their shortfalls? Their mistakes. This is what I'm saying. Cash has to do with life of people. People are sick. You cannot access drugs. People, go to a person, you cannot do that. You go, you want to transfer, you cannot do that. ATM is functioning up. Where do you call the cash? not minding the agrarian population. So what we are saying is that, look, let us be sincere. Yes, we are at a crossroad now. The CBN should, release the money of people to them. If what excuse would they have to not release my money? It's hard-earned money of people. Let the truth be said. The government has no right to treat us as slaves in our country. This money belongs to the people, not the government.
Okay.
So that's the point we are making.
All right.
They should take the fault. And when you implement a scheme and you find out that scheme is not working, the person is to retreat. They should retreat from it. The council says, okay, now let us circulate it. Go to banks. Everybody, people are stranded. They cannot eat. They cannot go out. Cannot attend to their medical needs. Come on, what are we talking about? The government, the president, we voted for him. He should use the executive power to make this easier for us. We are not under the central bank governor. We are under, another president. This is what I'm saying. Let the president do the needful. The central bank governor is working on that. He appointed him. He approved him. He cannot be bigger than the president. We are saying our president is the father of this nation. He should reverse this thing. Because you have seen that this thing is not in good terms with the people. People are suffering. That's the point. We have to look, and we have to fear God. Go to the markets. Go to the market. See what is happening. Go to households. Yes, I was involved in the public, in the community lecture yesterday. I was playing with people. Share with your neighbors. People are hungry. Okay, the pepper seller, people in the market, they don't want. You cannot coerce them into this cashless policy without actually, orientating them, giving them time to adapt. If he doesn't know school, okay, so many things are happening. Okay. What we are saying that they should allow people to have their money. Okay. Let them pursue those who they have suspected that is in their hands. They have their BVN. Let them question BVN. Let them question accounts. Let them ICB is there. EFCC is there. But we are saying that people are suffering.
All right. In as much as people are suffering, they can't have access to their money as at when due. Yes. Some arguments have also come up from a quarter across the country that says these pains, the hardship we are talking about here, is being orchestrated by those in the high and mighty that are having maybe 80% of the old Naira notes in their possession, and they don't know how to take this money to the bank. How would you react to that?
Well, if they have the money, it's very easy. Look, they have measures. Let them, look, it's very easy. The ICPC is there, or the EFCC is there. Let them open a window for them to bring in the money. That's the query.
Okay.
It's very easy. Let them open special windows for them to open accounts. Okay, bring whatever you have. Special accounts. Let them have the money. One day after then, okay, after the EFCC, okay, we now pick them, okay, what are you doing with the money? How do you get it? Most of us are civil servants. We know what is happening here. A civil servant on level 15 having 10, 50 houses. How do you explain that? There are most of us, some of the contractors. What are we talking about? So what we are saying, look, government is government has the power. They know themselves. The people should not, the other people should not suffer for, the game. It's a game.
For the ills of a few.
A few. It's a game among, it's a game. They know themselves. That's look, I'm in the information world. I'm telling you, most of these things, there are reports, what I call it rumor, that in central bank, somebody reported that, some people are getting out money.
From the central bank?
Notes, yes.
From the central bank?
Oh, it's all over. It's all over. Well,
yes, it is. Because all things being equal, the central bank cannot bring out money to people ordinarily, except through the commercial bank.
What we are saying is, look, there's nothing, let us say the truth. Look, this central bank again, we know what is happening with stamp duty money of Nigerians. That is meant to be in a federal government's account. That has been traced to private accounts. How do we explain that?
It's still an allegation because the case is still on.
It's
so
still on.
We cannot be here and judge and assume that.
I'm just saying that, look, that is also a window for us to look at. If A can happen, B can also happen. What we are saying is that, look, let the central bank comes with a clean hand. For now, what we have seen, this system, this swap is not the best for people.
Okay,
it's
yeah.
It's not about people.
But
and we want a change. Let them give us our money. Look, let them give. People are crying. Let them give them. I mean, it's a betrayal of trust that you tricked us to put our money in the bank and you refuse to give it back to us. Did we work for it together? No.
I don't think it's a trick or whatever.
No, it is a betrayal of trust. That's the way I see it. It's a because, okay, you say I should bring my money, I collect own notes. You return it, you didn't give it back to me. Without considering my needs. Is that fair on my part? Is that justice? We should fear God. Well, look, we may have position, but God is going to query our position.
But given what Central Bank of Nigeria, the report of Central Bank, or the statement issued to newsmen at the weekend by the Central Bank of Nigeria, that they have issued these new Naira notes to commercial banks. But the commercial banks are the ones that, though the monitoring and the supervision, which you are emphasizing about, is left with the Central Bank of Nigeria. Yes, it's left with the Central Bank of Nigeria. But again, instead of apportioning blame at this point in time, what do you think the Central Bank should do?
What
so
the
that people
Central
can
Bank
have
should
access
do,
to their money?
what the bank should do, release their money to people. If I bring in 200,000, give me my 200 naira equivalent of it. Or let them, that is it.
But that should be done through the commercial bank, right?
Of course. And they should monitor it on a daily basis. They report, all commercial banks report to CBN. There should be a special window. Let them deploy all their officers to monitor it day by day. How much we gave you this, how much you disburse, and show us the evidence. That's the way.
Okay.
That's where to go.
Okay, let's also take a look at other climes. You know, taking a clue from other climes around the world that redesigned their currency, what can you say was their experience and the effect on their economy, so that we can compare it to that of Nigeria?
When this thing came up in 1985 in Nigeria, it was not palatable. You see, and also in India, yes, the government will always claim to support what they do, but then the people, the survey that was the people, I mean, people did not actually find it easy. So many places, so many countries they did it, the people are always feeling, they are in the brunt. The people, the downtrodden are always suffering. You don't just jump to, cashless society a day. Do we have the infrastructure to support it? Our network system, is that not robust? What is the capacity of the bandwidth of the banks? I was going to say, look, even the banks, the commercial banks are not prepared for this. Now, the quantum of customers going to them, can they manage it? Do they have the technology to support it? These are things they ought to have done before this cashless thing. And all the commercial banks are under the central bank. They will have examined what is the capacity for taking more, because now it's as if we are moving the whole country, into the cashless policy. Did we prepare for that? No, let's look beyond, the surface. So the surface, you may not see it, but let's look deep. What is the capacity of our banks? When you look, I take average 10 people, if they do transfer, how many goes through? And what is the rate of even return? I have a witness on three occasions, POS, my money got stopped. Up to today, I have not received for the past months, 2 months. This ATM also, even in the bank I get there, I did not see the money, up 100,000, 140,000 naira. How do you explain that?
And what was their complaint?
They are working on it. It will return, no return. I've complained twice, no return. So what are we talking about? And, so many things. So when I say, look, let there be justice. You collect so much, give the person instantly their money. It's very easy to do. Let the CBN monitor the commercial banks. Let them monitor them. They are the bankers' bank. Let them monitor them. The people cannot suffer for their negligence. That's the point we are saying. Nigerians are suffering. We can't. I want to see. Look, someone that believe. What everybody's good intention, but the reality is what I'm after. What we're after. If we are going, the man of the now squeezing us. What kind of thing is that? No, we should not. We don't decide. Nigerians don't decide that. You cannot go overnight and push us. To this thing. How many people have you oriented? The market. What is the number of the elites compared to the non-elites? So how overnight you just want to do like the Oyimbos? What are we talking about? Must we be like the Oyimbos before? Let us live let us go at our own pace. You can't coerce people overnight. So bring their money and you seize the money. That's the way I see it. The government is seizing people's money. They're seizing people's money. If they said they know the money is in the hands of people, let them pursue those people. The FCC, let them pursue them openly, open court. That be open court. So let them publish the names. It's not rhetorics. We are not after that. That is a game among them. So what we are saying, Nigerians are suffering. Let them circulate the new notes as well as the old note together. And as the old note come in, they will draw it. They will draw it. I mean, if for instance, if 1 million comes today in, let them release 2 million so that people can have it like that until they retrieve everything finally. They are in control.
Okay. All right. When we talk about the timing, you were saying that the timing was wrong.
Yes.
But again, some analysts have come up to say that the timing is not wrong, but there's a missing link in between maybe the map. So how will you react to that? Because when do we say the timing is right?
The timing is wrong. Let me tell you, timing is wrong.
When we say how?
Because, okay, let me tell you, timing is wrong, and I suspect that timing. Because governor of Central Bank, he was one of the contestants for election. He was one of the aspirants, but he was struck down to resign. I mean, some school of thought said, okay, it's a vendetta. He wants to truncate the system. If not, you wanted to contest, but because of officials, you cannot hold an office officially and still contest, you have to step down. Now, why now, spanner into the moving wheels? This time, election is a sensitive period. You dare not cause confusion. What is happening now? Some school of thought believe that, look, this guy, the Central Bank governor, is trying to truncate the system to cause unnecessary problem. Why now? Why now? That is one. Another people can be like, okay, if you claim people are buying votes, you can't stop that. I mean, it's voluntary anyway. I don't support that. But then the point is, this time you know is a sensitive period. Any small thing now we raise tension, and that's what is happening now. Some even believe, some school of thought even say that, look, it's deliberate because they want the country to go in flames so that they can bring in interim government. That's another school of thought.
All those are allegations.
No, that's a school of thought.
Where is a school of thought?
I mean, they have the right to their opinion.
Yeah, they are.
In academia, you have the right to your opinion. Every citizen has the right to perceive things and say his own opinion. But we are saying that if it has not been so at this time, election is a sensitive period. You don't say because you want to send them that thing that you have been there for the past how many years? 7 years. This same governor has been there for how many years? This same guy has been there for the past almost over 7 years. Why have you not thought it necessary? Is it the only way to cut corruption? We have seen so many cases. The truth be told, look, let our leaders fear God. Because this power is not for life. And every power you have, you are going to account for it before God Almighty. Whether you believe it or not, God who has created us, we call you to account for all the power we have. They have the power today. We may not, the thing will not have the power, but we are at the mercy of God. But God is going to ask them. So let them fear God. People are crying. People are suffering.
Okay. I am so sorry for the sufferings that people are going through at this point in time. But again, are we saying that we cannot see anything, maybe the reasons that motivated the Central Bank of Nigeria or the federal government? That will be after the break.
Okay,
we'll take a short break now and we'll be right back. Stay with us.
Sir, can you please give us the permission to search you? You can go.
Is this a movie? If it happened.
Officer, I beg carry and go station. When our Oga come, you come meet am for there.
Hey, Mr. Man, I cannot do that.
Tell your guy to come to our station when he returns.
Am I in a movie? If it happen,
Mama, please. Mama, please.
Thank God you're here. Do the needful.
Mama, please, just 3 weeks now.
Madam, why did you invite us to come help chase your tenant now?
This is a civil matter now.
Is this a movie? If it happen,
If we follow
The new police law.
Thanks for being here with us, and as we are discussing the cash swap to economic growth of the nation, our guest is a public analyst and an associate professor of mass communication, Professor Rilman Adeyemi. Prof, Before we went on break, we were arguing on whether the monitoring and supervision of the Central Bank of Nigeria is going as it is expected or the other way around. But again, are we saying in all of this suffering and the hardship that we are going through that the reasons given by the Central Bank of Nigeria or the federal government for the redesigning of the Naira is nothing to write home about?
Well, I said, there's no system that is totally bad or a scheme, but it's the ratings. Look, like I said earlier, if I want to score it, I will score it 70-30. That they pass 30% and they fail 70%. Wow. How? Because the impact on the people is negative more than, on the people. The impact. Okay. People are crying. People are not, they don't have access to food, access to water, access to transportation. There are pains in the land. That's why that is the basis of my analysis. Yes, 30% they have it. 30% is a mark. Or they move it to 40%. Okay, man, that's the E. But on the other side, what are the pains of the people? Because every policy has to be assessed based on the impact on the people. You take an average of a family in Nigeria. A family of 6, 7. Yeah. Okay. How many of them are elites? How many of them? The elites always think that, look, the life is for them alone. And it's not. It's wrong. Life is not for the elites alone. They were coming from somewhere. If their father were elites, their grandfather was not elites. So, everybody has his own time. So, the elites should not think that it's only the life is meant for them alone. And look, there should be something, the scheme of development in the world is changing. You see, you don't think for the people, think with the people. Okay. Not every time you think for the people, people also have their own brains, they have their own sense. Think with them. Think along with them. It should be participatory. I want to ask, if a public policy before it is implemented, they should free people. Did they conduct any survey? As what is the human angle of this scheme? But because our people feel because they are in power, they can do what they like. It's not. If you do what you like, God will do what he or she likes with you. He likes with you as well. Because we are not slaves of this government. We are citizens. There is only a privilege to be in a position, to be a president, to be a governor, whatever you are, to be a senator. And I wonder, even while a senator, I've not even heard about senators. I don't know what is their problem. We had the voice of the governors. All the governors picked that this policy is not the best. I'm not the one rating them. They said that people are crying. All governors in Nigeria. Now, what about the senators whom we voted for? What have they done? Across all parties, what have they done? They have to speak for the people. Let them also go to the president one day. All of you, all president, the governor are gone. All senators, they want to see him.
But recall that last week, governors and to take critical decisions. This is also part of it. Remember when he said that they should give him 7 days?
7 days. Yes. How many days now?
Anyway,
what we are saying, let the representative, National Assembly should go to him. They are the one we elected. Let them go to president. Mr. President, our people are crying. Okay. Withdraw this thing or step it and go side by side, old and new notes. You cannot have our money and keep it. It's not possible. We are saying no. We relate with the people. People are crying. Okay. And we have the voice to tell the government, our father, President Muhammad Buhari, you are the father of this nation. We should fear God. This thing you may not know. People around you may not have told you that this thing is, they will tell you it's working. It's not working. We work with the people. I'm a grassroots. I'm a community leader. I work with people. People have grassroots associations. Of farmers. We know what they are going through. Let us know this thing is not working. President, sir, executive president of Nigeria, please, this thing is not working well. People are in pain. You have all the power to pursue those people you perceive to be having that money. Pursue them. Pursue them. You have just few months to go. Pursue them. Show them pepper. You are once a ministry government. Show them pepper. But don't do that at the expense of our own life, the pepper of the peasants.
If you say that this thing is not working, are you also
supporting 30%?
Are you also supporting the corrupt elements that are keeping 80% of the volume of our naira
I'm saying that
their
the government,
homes or somewhere
in their government,
outside the banking vote?
Sir, look, The government has the power. Let the government hold them to ransom. Look, let it be the last one. Let him pursue them to the hole. The government should pursue those you have seen. Because before you come up with the policy, that means you have some information that some people are calling. Why going through the back door? Why don't you face them? Like the security president, why don't you face them? No, he said the president was once a military general. Why should the general be afraid of people?
I don't know. It's not. It's not.
No, okay.
We can't say that. Yeah.
No, what I'm
the
saying.
general is afraid.
No,
of
what I'm
saying
is as perceived. No. I'm a citizen. I'm telling you, the voice of the people. If you are a general, once a general, and you have perceived that some people, you say some people are holding the economy to ransom, they have cash with them. That means you will have record to know that they are keeping that money. Why don't you use your executive power to pursue them through the central bank? They have BVN, they have something. And okay, 1, 2, or open another account. It's not only one method you can use to catch a thief. No. You go, okay, open a special account for them. You are a farmer, bring all the money. When they go, okay, this is your money, put their name. Now, explain this money, how you get this money. The government can do it. It's done in other countries.
The government can do it, but due process must be followed.
Yes,
I think that one of the due process which must be followed is the redesigning of the Naira.
Yes, design of Naira. But should that be at the expense of me that I have my salary and keep it bad and I cannot have it? I've been borrowing money. People have been borrowing money. I borrow money to this place this morning. I have to borrow, to take taxi because my money is tracked. It's trapped. So what we are saying, the government should listen to you. Governors have talked to you. Governors have told you, circulate it. In the next 1-2 days, let there be money in circulation. It's not only one way you can catch a thief. No, there are so many ways. The government is a powerful organ in the government. They can catch you. If they know, they can catch the person. If you say you can catch them, let them catch them. Let them expose them. Not the people who don't have the voice. You may think that you have power. Yes, you have power. But God's power is more than whoever, is a leader or leaders. That is my point. We have to fear God. Whether you be a Muslim, you can fear God. Because one day you are going to go into the grave. And it will be you alone. And it's whatever you do to people around you that will count there.
Okay. It's like we are taking it too personal anyway.
No.
Like I said, I want to apologize for the pains that Nigerians are going through at this time. But also, we should try and just look at, when we look at one side on the left or the left side, we should also be able to also see reasons with the federal government in the pursuit of maybe a fight against corruption.
I give them 40%.
Okay. No, I'm not even saying you should score them.
No, that's
anyway,
I'm a teacher. I'm a teacher. If you come to me, okay, you have to assess. I will assess you based on what I see on ground.
All right.
And this has to do with life of people.
Let's open the phone lines to as many that are following us on the program and they are out there. They want to contribute to what we are discussing today. And the number to call us on the program is 091-2888-0367. The number again to call us to join on the conversation is 0912-888-0367. The number is on your screen. You can call us to join us in the conversation. Prof, yeah, it's really a very critical time for all of us Nigerians. But again, have you also forgotten that each time a policy is introduced, not just in Nigeria, in other climes, there's bound to be. Okay. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello? Please, can you speak out? Okay, please, you do well to call us again. Thank you. The number again to call us is 0912-888-0367. You can call us to join us on the conversation. Maybe you have an inquiry to make or a contribution. It can even be an experience around where you are living within the city center. Okay, all right. Like I was saying that if we continue to look at the bad side, the suffering, the hardship that all of us are going through at this point in time, then we'll keep shifting blames from one point to the other. We may not have any headway. I think we should not take it too personal. We are trying to look at the missing links and how to proffer solutions so that majority of Nigerians can come out of this hardship. If you were to be the federal government or the Central Bank of Nigeria, the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, what do you think exactly? You have mentioned a lot of issues here. These are the main, the missing links. This is what the central bank should do. This is what the government should do so that Nigerians can come out of it. Saying that the program is not, the policy is bad, is this, we should leave it, we should drop it. Or what do you think? How do you think we can work with this policy to ensure a sustainable development in Nigeria?
Thank you for that perspective. In addition to what I've said earlier, the commercial banks also have a role to play for them to be patriotic in this scheme, because a lot of issues, I mean, are going around them. Yeah. You know, there have been cases that have been reported that they have money in ATM and they don't lose it. People come there. I mean, please, one of the ways to go forward is that the central bank officials also should, I mean, have mercy on the people. They don't do their work diligently. They should not see it as an opportunity to exploit or extort people. So the central bank, I mean the commercial banks workers, they also have a stake in this matter. Because the central bank is saying that they give the money to them. Even though they have the duty to monitor them, but they themselves have a duty to the people. I mean, people, I mean, trust them. Then why should their trust be betrayed? So the commercial bank staff or officials should also, I mean, share part of this thing, and they should try to change their ways. Also, the POS people as well. I mean, the commoners. They also have their plane, because when you go down, they take you 1,000 to 5,000. It's like they are this. I mean, even at the grassroots level, they are even selling our currency to us. That's the way it is, and I think that is bad enough. So, people themselves, yes, you can complain the government is not doing, but what about us as well at down at the grassroots? We shouldn't inflict pains on people. Let the system work. If you go to a bank, they give you money, give it to people. At least it will reduce, I mean, charge the normal rates, it will reduce the pains, I mean, of going to the banks. That's why they created the POS and pay point centers. So the people also have a role to play. But that those in the POS sector, I mean, the rural banking sector, they have a role to play. And of course, just like we are saying that the central bank should monitor those doing the commercial bank, the commercial bank should also extend that data to monitor those POS people as well. So if there's a level of chain of monitoring, everybody will sit up. Okay. So that is on. And finally, well, I've always said that people should learn to be patient. Whatever is the case, our case is still better than some other people. But then we have to speak up. I mean, we don't expect it to go smooth all the time. When there are issues, well, we have to, the only thing we are doing is to talk. Let them know what we are feeling so that they can adjust it. But on by and large, I wish to say that it's not taking placards, I mean, going at it is not the way out. Okay. No nation survives through riots. You just get yourself destroyed. Because I can see some people are calling for, no, this one will go. No, nobody is going to go for anybody. I mean, violence is not the key to solutions. I mean, we judge, we discuss. I mean, we tell the government this is what they do. Okay, this we can do this. That's the only way to go. But violence is not the answer. I'm not unaware that some people have been inciting people. No, this is a time to incite people. It's a time for us to talk with the government, as we are doing dialogue with the tell them, okay, this is the way it is, and we provide solutions. You can open special accounts for those who you target. I mean, you can do this, you can do rural banking, strengthen your monitoring system, and monitor what goes in the commercial banking. So give them more suggestions. Okay. So this is my take on that.
So the government can monitor, that is the Central Bank of Nigeria can monitor the commercial bank, monitor the system so that the pains that Nigerians are going through can become a thing of the past, and so we can enjoy a sustainable economy. And that is the size of our package on today's edition of Business and Economy. The guest we have been speaking with is a public analyst and associate professor of mass communication, Professor Rilwan Adeyemi. Prof, we want to thank you for finding time to come on the program.
We are in it together, but it's not the personal opinion. I said, now, sometimes you have to, appeal to our leaders so that, God is in charge. So may God see us through this time.
And may God see us through at this time. And to us, those of us out there, our esteemed viewers and listeners, we also want to sincerely thank you so much for branching off on this edition. Ensure to remain safe while avoiding any form of argument with anyone at this point in time. Join us again next time for a more educative episode.